the heck happened? So, what is up, everyone? My name is Mitchell, and today, by the title, as you can suggest, we're going on a world tour. I'm running it around 50 FPS, and I'm using shaders. And so, yeah, this is 1.14. If you guys could see, we're running 1.14.2 with shaders. Optifine has been doing a lot of updates. I forget the guy's name that does that, but he's doing an amazing job at updating to 1.14, keeping everyone updated and whatnot. But it seems that we're in a really, we're getting to a really close part of the update. So to Optifine, because it's really stable right now, actually. So, alrighty. So the first part of this Team Akuma kind of stream type deal is the fact that we are now public with a map of the entire server. So if I pop over to our map here, close any tabs that I don't want you guys to see. There's nothing really bad, and I'm just closing things that make myself look neater. Okay, so if we go and pop over to our Chrome, so akumamap.com is the website, or map.teamakuma.net. Both of them work. They just redirect to akumamap.com. And this is where it is. So it's currently still being updated. We have 17,000 files more to go, but it is in a working stage currently. So you can zoom in, kind of explore the map a bit. When it's done, it'll be completely high res. When you zoom in, you can look at all the details. You can see where it has. See how it doesn't even loaded those files yet. But right now, you can go into the zoom level and kind of see around what this entire map is. So, yeah, this is a good little starting point. I'm getting pinged. Cool. So, the first part out, well, actually, we'll be popping in and out of this view a little bit. So, first part to start out with is we're out of memory. Probably because we were sitting outside the thing. So, to start out with, we are at spawn. So, spawn's kind of a cool little quirky mess right now because we don't know what we want to do with it. So, you kind of can see where people have kind of spawned in and did whatever they wanted to do, kind of. Actually, this was a mined out tree from when Nathan joined, and it grew into a huge tree, which was something else. So spawn doesn't have much. It has a little dock here that I'm pretty sure Zach built because the lantern. Not many people have been making lanterns. Got in a birch. I believe that's a birch. It doesn't say. Birch boat here. If it's the birch or oak, it just looks a lot lighter if it's an oak one from the shaders. So we got a ravine here. Again, not much to see around. I'll go down there in a little bit. And a little bridge here that goes on the way to Zach's. I'm getting errors. Is my OBS cooperating? It is. So getting errors on YouTube side. I don't know. So we go here. That way goes to Zach's base, Zach's old base at least. And yeah, so if we go back over here, you'll notice a little bit of polished diorite in the ground. And you probably notice this on the map view too. You'll see a bit of polished diorite here, and then around the map, if you guys can see that, yep, around the map you'll see this big square cube. Square, it's not a cube. these are known as our spawn chunks, and basically the rule was while that's staying there until we finalize everything. But the rule was basically no building within the spawn chunks, bases and whatnot. You can build small things like bridges and whatnot, but you can't build your base in the spawn chunks for reasons that I just don't want to have spawn littered with bases and whatnot. So I urge them, I'm like, please move out, your go far into whatever direction you're gonna go. But Andrew literally got out of the forest and was like, I have a perfect place, and so he built here, which was whatever. It's not against the rules, but it's also not my idea. So we'll go over there right now, actually. So let's go over to Andrew's base. So Andrew's base is that way if we were to take the overworld. So it's that way, but we're actually going to go down here. What I was going to say, if we go down here, I just put in this water so I could fall down. And we have, this is actually brand new. It's a new nether portal for the spawn. So let's go to spawn. Well, let's go to the nether. So immediately we're going to be in and out of this place all the time, and you'll get to see where all these paths get to go. But for right now, we're going to go to Andrew's base, which is this way. There's no signs leading you anywhere. It's just kind of prior knowledge at this point, which I'm gonna add signs, but for right now, it's just prior knowledge. So Andrew's base is very much not complete. He is still very, very early on in the stages of building on the server. He's very far progressed when he has been on, but he hasn't been doing much on the server. I'm trying to find his bed so I can steal it from him for a little bit. We do have a plugin on the server that lets us sleep regardless of how many people are on. One person can sleep and it'll work. So not a plugin, it's actually a what's it called? Data pack. So yeah, Andrew's place is very simple. Well, it's not very simple. He's a builder, so he wanted to build a nice little nice little place. So he has a little bit of items and whatnot. So he seems to have found my food. He's got nonsense. I put a little chest in here, gave him a bunch of cod because he kept complaining about having no food. So yeah, kind of simple. Very, very simple. So yeah, that's his base. We just upgraded, by the way. We went to 16 chunks of render distance. We're going to see how that works, but if it doesn't, then I'm going to put it back down to 10. Some of his sheep are named Purple. Or seeing some glitchiness from what I believe to be Optifine not working properly. Yeah, purple, which he's not even purple, which is the funny thing. That was Anthony's design. Here's his mine shaft. I'm not even going to go down there because I don't know where that goes. Yeah, so that's the first part of his base. He also has a little crow's nest up there with a bell, because why not, I guess. And he's a big banner maker, so he made a banner. So yeah, that's his base. So my throat hurts. So let's go back. This is his little nether portal shack, because you never want your nether portal to be right next to your base, even though I put mine next to my base. So we're gonna go to the so we just looked at Andrew's base, which is here. Next we're gonna go over to Zach's base, which is right over here. So he went eastward in this direction. So this is his old base, and then we're gonna go check out his new base. So let's go do that. Let's see if he still has his portal up. Yep, he does. So this is his old base that we're going to. And so we got a couple, and this was supposedly what Tyler was taking over, but I don't think he took it in the long run. So yeah, we have a platform up there from, that was one of my pranks that I did on him. So we have what was going to be Zach's permanent base. He has a horse there still. He was going to do kind of a special little village type thing over here, and so he built a huge little house, a huge house over there, and he was building these old style village houses. I just got a ping on my phone on Facebook, but he was building these old style houses and whatnot, which he didn't know at the time was old style, and this one just went on a huge tunnel to who knows where. I don't even know where he was planning to go with that. I don't know if let's see actually. That goes to his new base. Okay, so we'll follow. I'll actually do that. We'll follow out to that base, real quickly after that. But so yeah, we have the horse shack over here. I haven't been to everyone's base in a while. So this one just ends right here. I'm gonna guess he was planning to go through that mountain, but he ended up not. So yeah, we're going back up to his base. His mining adventures were over there. I'm not gonna go over there because I'm lame. Going back up to his base. I'm alone in the server part now, by the way. His base is not well lit. You'll come to find out really quickly. Oh no, I guess he was planning on doing a mine thing there, but he ended up not. This is where his bed used to sit, and he kind of focused on this water design of getting up and down places. So, tools, whatnot, everything he left here, he said Tyler could have. Who knows? And then he had a multi-level type thing going on. So this is where his nether portal was sitting. Maps. He's a big map guy. And then he has a little hidden area here, which he didn't do much with. Just lava. Oh no, cobblestone generator. Which again was kind of a waste of material on a normal world. Oh yeah, we're gonna use that. So now we're gonna spend some time and run to his next base. So I actually have not went on this this trail yet. I went halfway through because of a server issue, but have not been through this trail. We're running. We're running. So he built his new base way out where no one can really disturb him, I guess. Is a good way of saying things like that, I guess. I don't know. So we went over top a ravine. Start to see the ocean kind of come into play. Got some kelp growing up. Kind of cool how shaders makes kelp look and whatnot. So he was right through here when the server corrupted and somehow we lost all of his stuff. So I just rolled back the server a little bit with his player info, and he got some of his stuff back. Again, here's my point of him trying just like putting things down and leaving them. He loves to just do that. Never picks up after himself. Why does that keep getting reset? I'm not doing this. I was noticing my hunger wasn't going down, and I was like, why is it not going down? It reset itself again. I don't know who's or what's doing it. It's never me. I was really hoping a boat was out here. God damn it. Oh, I have a boat. Good. This kind of looks cool. Kind of like you can kind of see the clear waters of this. And I really hope sooner or later they'll add in support for tropical water. You know, like kind of a difference between them, because that'd be really cool. Tropical water should be clearer and whatnot. This is some of this is tropical water. We're gonna be coming back through. It looks like a lighter shade of blue. So this is his new base. On the map, you'll see that he grew an acacia tree on top. No idea why. So we're gonna go up first before we go down. So we'll go up here, and he loved the diorite look. It's all static. I don't like it. So, yep, kind of like it looks really cool with shaders, honestly. But yep, looking really cool. That was a good cartography table. Everything. I don't even know what this is. Looks like it has no use right now. Stone cut brewer, whatever the fuck it's called. This enchantment table, which doesn't do much here right now. You can't do full enchants with it. And you get to go to your little balcony thing, I guess. Shaders makes this place look a lot better than what it actually is. Okay, so past this, we're gonna be going down now. He did not go down that way. Okay, so here's a little fountain in the middle, and if you haven't already discovered, he went down in it. So these little rafters for different reasons. Mainly storage. He just loves the idea of storage with it, and it's kind of stupid. Kind of stupid if you ask me, but it's whatever. So we'll go from here down a little bit more. You get to see a whole what the entire map looks like so far. I don't understand how you can do this, but whatever. So yeah, he has this little map going on. So yeah, I think some of them got fucked up. So that's where he is, and he has pretty much every single place mapped out so far. You'll notice I am spawn. Where's spawn? Spawn is an island. Shit. It's not there. He's here. Straight. This is what I believe is Spawn Island here. And I am no, this is Spawn Island right here, I believe. So I am right here. So yeah, he came out to my base and did his little thing, but that doesn't go any farther down. And he has another portal. So past this goes up to a oh, he did something else. Okay. So if we go over top this, he seemed to have expanded on his path, which is really nice because that's what I asked him to do. Because I was really hating the fact that it was only 1 block wide and you could die so easily. His path was the easiest to die on, honestly. So we go from here to my base, I guess, because I have nowhere else to really go. Because our 2 other members of the server currently, Nathan and Tyler, I don't know where their bases are. I know where one is, but he does not have a nether portal yet, as far as I can tell. So, oh, okay, we can go to Antheus too. Never mind. So we'll go to my base real quick. This is the spawn nether portal that I just put up, believe it or not. So I could get to the spawn really easily now. So everyone could get spawn really easily now. So we'll go through back to my portal. So, okay, now that we're out of that, okay, so yeah, now that we're out of that, just checking this again. Okay, yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so, yeah. We come out of mine. I plan to one day make this entire map wall. Another thing I need to add to my to-do list. So, continuing on. This is my base. So, best way to explain my base is start at the top. I think it's night, by the way. We just hit night. So, you know what? I think I know what it is. Give me 1 second, guys. I know exactly what the freaking issue is that keeps turning it back to peaceful. I just realized what it was. So I went back in and edited the config file again. And the config file has it under peaceful. It won't change the server properties file, I guess. Difficulty peaceful. There it is. Normal. Save. There. So now it will save that. So, okay. So, starting back to where I am, this is my base. So I decided to take the naturalist approach. I don't like modifying the landscape that much. So what I did, and I'm getting something happening. Oh, let's keep it on that then. Refresh my page, make sure I'm gonna keep streaming. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So, okay. So, I prefer the naturals appeal. You'll notice this little pit here. This used to be my mine shaft, and then it got blown up twice by a creeper. So I just kind of like filled it in and left it. That goes there now. And yeah, so that's what it looks like now. So continuing on, this used to be my wheat farm. Now it's a bamboo farm. And the bamboo is probably the tallest thing in my entire base because, you know, bamboo's bamboo. So I have a lot of bamboo now. Scaffolding and smelting and whatnot, it's really good for. Continuing on, the little shack on the water, half slabs on bottom, that glass tubes down, is what people don't really notice. Is, you know, you're like, oh, cool, this, you know, that's kind of cool, floating house. It feels a lot smaller than what it actually is because this is obviously just a facade. So my main storage currently is right here, but I'm working on a storage room, anvil, whatever. So 2 things up. Here's all my furnaces. Nothing's in the furnaces currently except coal. Yeah, so two tubes up and down. One just goes down to a water puddle downstairs, and one is obviously filled with water with a soul stand on the bottom. So, coming down to the main room, obviously the map wall is here. My to-do list is on a book on a podium. And underneath, these all have a separate page for a reason. When you go through it, you can actually see sometimes you have different stages of things. So different little notes per each task. Like, need to get pigs for this, which, by the way, I now have pig. So, yeah, stuff like that. So going through, let's go left first. We have nothing on this side here, and this is the storage room. The storage room is going to be big. It's going to be huge, believe it or not. It's still in progress. So, yeah, this is just my enchanted books currently, and that's just enchanted book storage pretty much. I have a lot of enchanted books from the Auto Fisher, which we'll see pretty soon. This is going to soon be the tunnel all the way out to... It looks like Seizure Town over there, but it's going to go all the way down to what's going to be a faraway mine shaft, so it doesn't interrupt and intrude with any of my base type deals. So over here we have a wheat and reed / sugarcane farm. This is beetroot and whatever else I want to put here. This is my auto fisher. It's pretty bad. I have a lot of stuff here. Yeah. So a lot of fish. I mean, a lot of fish and sheep, cows, chicken, and pig. And we're gonna soon have rabbits and mushrooms along with that too. All in progress. So, that is pretty much the entire world, except for, of course, Anthony's base, which we'll go to see now. Ow. Different sized portals on each end is always a spell for disaster. So, none of this is pigman proof, but we just came to a consensus of don't anger the pigmen. You won't have any issues. This is only done halfway up because this is my invention. So yeah, this staircase is kind of awful due to the simple fact we don't have stairs for it. So we're walking. We're walking. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So we have we do have something going on over there though. So we're gonna check. I will go back. So yeah, going back to our 3D world. What I did not show you was the fact that we went past a pillager outpost, which zoom levels seem to be getting better. We went past a pillager outpost, which I didn't even realize we did. And a thunderstorm's hitting my area, but we went past the pillager outpost when going on that pathway. I'm hoping that I'm not gonna get hit by a gust. Oh, I didn't show. Oh yeah, I'm not in desktop mode anymore. So, yeah, we went past the pillager outpost. There's a pillager outpost. Here's Zach's old base. Here's Zach's new base. Zach's pillager outpost on the way out there. My base is over here. It's about 500 blocks out from spawn. And not much to see through the overviewer screen, but it's whatever. So, where we're going to go next is... I don't know. We're about to see. So, okay, out of memory. Error, whatever. Anthony's base is something I have not seen yet, really. These slabs were, believe it or not, something I did, just for the hell of it. I have not seen Anthony's base much, but we will be able to see it by the F3 coordinates. So, -2611222. -261. Oh wow. What? Oh wait, no, that wasn't far off spawn. -261. Shit. 1222. 2611222. Right here. Here's Anthony's base. Something I have not really seen yet on this overview screen. You can see that there's a diorite ding dong going on over there. So I guess that's a thing. So we're about to see it actually. Here it is. So going over here, I guess I actually did not get a proper tour from Anthony on this thing because I was having a lot of issues when we were doing the stream when this happened. So got some cows going on over here, I guess. Wheat farm, which he oversaturated the fuck out of the dirt for this, but okay. This happening. I don't know what this is. Oh, it seems it was just a space. So his overhead base. He has a stone cutter and kind of a weird looking room and a hole. And bed. His storage room. His what looks really cool looking nether room, I guess. And all of us are learning linking nether portal, which is a nice little thing. And I think they went up here for something, and I can't remember what. Not too sure what it was. I cannot see it on the overview screen, I guess. So, yeah. So that's it. That's it for Anthony's base, and that's it for pretty much all of them, except for Nathan and Tyler's underground. So I don't know where that is. It might be overground. I just can't see it. So, yeah. So let's go back to the Nether. Kind of want to be in the middle here. So this is where Anthony spawned when he actually came down to the Nether, I believe, because it's a full Nether portal. So I know. Let's see. We can actually track. Well, let's see if we track down Nathan if he even went into the Nether at all. Because if he went to the Nether, then he has another portal down here somewhere. So I know where Nathan is making his base, and I've seen it through the map. It's right over here. So does he have another portal? Probably not. How did he even get out there? That's my question. So he's making out of slabs, I guess. So that is negative 5331679. So let's just look this up. Negative 528 and 1671. -209. Negative 66209. Okay. So we'll go and see if we can find it. So it's actually out here. Negative 66209. It's that way. So let's see. So Anthony, I think Nathan built off of Anthony's path, believe it or not. So that's something over there. So we'll see what happened. Someone built something out there, so we'll see what happened. Yeah, it's not speeding up anything. My throat hurt. I need to get used to talking more. Summer's coming around and I need to stream more. Okay, so over here is something. See, I'm past mine now. That's the issue. Oh, he just went this way for glowstone. Oh my god. I hate that so much. I just, ugh. I'm seeing something over here, though. You just come over here from our glowstone? It's possible. It's probable. It's an Enderman. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of simple. I should go plant a creeper at Zach's base and, like, rename it so it doesn't despawn. So I think for sure that Nathan did not build another portal yet, but he will soon. So we won't be able to see that yet, but we can see it we can see it with the map. So with that being said, you guys should totally check out akumamap.com or map.teamakuma.net. It seems to be a kind of it's a really cool little site, you know. So I worked way too hard on it. I spent $20 just to get it working. Um, so just help me out. Just go over to it and look at it for a little bit. I'm gonna continue to keep it updated. Every now and then I'll update it and update the map. And I'm kind of curious to see what will happen in regards to rendering another map, because currently, I mean, what you do is you just basically make another map and upload it. The issue is this map that I have created is taking like it's been like I don't even know when I started. It's this morning, I guess. It's 7. It's 8 p.m. and I'm still uploading files. 40,000 files and it's only 2 gigs. I mean, but FTP is so slow. So, you know, kind of sucks. But so yeah, that's all you need. That's all kind of happened. So as this continues to upload, more Zoom levels will become available to you guys. But it seems the entire couple first levels have been made available. I don't choose the branches. It seems to have chosen the correct one though. So, yeah, a couple igloos were actually discovered out here. We got a nice spike forest going on over here, and I found 1 or 2 igloos going on. So, that's kind of cool. So, yeah, go ahead and check it out. As we proceed to explore and update our bases, I'm gonna try and keep it rendered. Um, I don't know who else is gonna make a couple series on this, but I guess it's nice to have at least one person doing stuff on it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And this, like I said, this site will continue to be updated. If I can get support from my other crafters, or not just crafters, Akuma members, I will start up a website for Team Akuma. It's like $7 a month maybe for a full site. So I'll have to do that. Um, but yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoy the map. It's gonna be available in the description from now on. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later, I guess. Um, See ya.